Lilac Kitty has all types of Reddit stories that will make you think, cry and laugh. Only real stories.
I kind of want my boyfriend to be my dad. Just the title sounds creepy. Me and my BF have been together for only 6 months but have been friends for about a year longer than that. We only ever hung out with a friend group and did D&D together and stuff, and I fell in love with him without really hanging out at his house or interacting with his kids. I knew he had kids, M7, F12, and he'd talk about them, but I didn't meet them until I was already in love with him. Some background: I came from an abusive household. Both of my parents were emotionally/psychologically abusive, and my father was an angry drunk who threw things and punched walls. I've been in therapy for it throughout my life, when I can afford a therapist, USA, but I'm currently not. I've never really hung out around a healthy family with kids in it. I'm estranged from my extended family since cutting off my parents, and most of my friends either don't have kids or they're very small babies. The first time I went over to my boyfriend's house, his kid was acting up, and I felt my whole body go tight waiting for him to get angry/aggressive with the child, and he didn't. He was kind and gentle. I was absolutely just. I'd never seen that. The more we spend time together and the more I see him around his 2 kids, I keep having these sort of earth-shaking revelations like, this is what parents are supposed to do. This is what it's supposed to look like. My therapists had explained, verbally, what it's supposed to be like, but that's very different from actually seeing a parent who genuinely loves his kids and treats them well. I love spending time over there because when he is kind and gentle to his kids, I passively absorb it, is the only way I can think to explain it. I feel safe and warm and protected in an extremely just, primal way that I never felt in my own house or anything. To be clear, I know what daddy kink/DDLG is, and this isn't it. It's not sexual at all. I just see the way he takes care of his kids and wish that I could just duck under that umbrella and be cared for like that too. One time he was telling me about the custody battle he went through with his ex-wife, who didn't want him around the kids, and how hard he fought to stay in their life, and I just started crying. He was comforting, and I tried to explain that no adult in my life would have ever fought for me like that. I told him I wish I'd had a dad like you, and he said I wish you did too. Which was very sweet, but I just worry this isn't something I'm supposed to want from my boyfriend, or feel for him. He knows about my parents and we've talked about it a few times. He gets it because he didn't have a great upbringing either. It's probably not okay to cross wires like that. I believe in communication in relationships, so I probably need to talk to him about it. But how do I tell him so it doesn't come off creepy? There's just so much positivity and warmth and unconditional love in his house, and I want to just wrap up in it like a warm blanket. But it's not mine, it's his kids. And I probably shouldn't get the wires crossed like that. I don't know. If I hadn't had to change jobs during COVID, I'd talk to a therapist again, but financially that's just not an option right now. Raised in an abusive household, now see how my amazing boyfriend loves his kids, and I wish he'd take care of me/love me the same way, since nobody ever did. Is that wrong? Do I talk to him about it? Edit. Wow, so many comments. Thank you all for your kind words and advice. I'm definitely Googling a lot of the ideas and books and things everyone mentioned. I didn't expect so many people to relate to this. It's kind of sad and really heartwarming. I was worried I was messed up and that I should shove these feelings away, and felt guilty for feeling like that, but a lot of you suggested it's just love. Healthy love, and it's okay to want that. Which feels like it should probably be obvious. I've decided not to make a big deal out of it or have any kind of talk about it, but just keep telling him how much I appreciate him and the things I see in him. Thank you all again for so many comments and advice and ideas. I asked my BF for alone time and he told me to pack my stuff and leave for good. Okay, the title does seem a little one-sided. Context: my boyfriend 29 and I 30 have been dating since last summer. I live alone in an apartment in downtown DC and he lives alone in a house in Annapolis about 40 minutes away. Pre-quarantine, we did well while splitting weekends between the two places. Once states closed for COVID, we decided it made most sense for me to temporarily move in/stay with him in the bigger space with a yard for the dogs. As you might imagine, it's had its ups and downs. We were getting a crash course in living together in a space that wasn't really mine at all, having lots of important conversations, enjoying evenings cooking together and having wine while watching shows together. We've also been irritable due to drastic changes in our daily routines. I have continued to work full-time from home, plus overtime due to an even busier schedule, while he is only working a half-day once a week. He is bored. I am stressed with work and finding it difficult to decompress. I am used to/need quiet time to myself to recharge and he likes a noisy household, TV's always on, music on top of that, chattering constantly about sports or draft statistics or things only of interest to him. I've tried saying I'm going upstairs to read or I'd just like some quiet time to myself and it bugs him that I don't want to do things that he wants. I find myself becoming more snappy and short-tempered from feeling constantly drained, which isn't fair to him. Last night he wanted to watch the NFL draft, so I made plans to FaceTime my girlfriends upstairs while he did that. I am used to weekly girls' nights and miss them as they're also my primary support network. I heard him downstairs complaining to his dog that I never want to hang out with him. After FaceTiming, I went down and sat on the sofa with him and said, "Hey, I heard you talking to the dog. I came to hang out. How are your team's picks doing?" He was irritable and replied, "Ugh, it was quiet until you came down. I'm feeling like I can't win." Alright, getting to the point now. I hadn't been to my apartment in over 3 weeks and needed to go check on it. It's not in a building, it's in a row house, and pick up prescriptions I couldn't have transferred. We were originally going to go together, but seeing this irritation with each other, I suggested I just go alone and take a night or so to myself to recharge and come back. COVID note: I do not have to interact with anyone to access my apartment. My car already had ample gas. I literally drive from his house to my street, am alone in my apartment. Any exposure to no contact takeout I would have gotten is the same as if I were there with him. This morning, when I grabbed some necessities for a night to myself, my laptop because I have to work over the weekend, some underwear, face moisturizer, he got upset and said I might as well take all my stuff and not bother coming back. I tried to talk through why it was so all or nothing for him. He said I clearly didn't want to spend time with him or be around him, so I can just go home for good and we can resume dating when the states open back up. He actually bagged up the remainder of my stuff and took it out to my car for me. Reddit: I just wanted to read in silence, get my medications, anxiety pills, water my plants, sleep in my own bed alone for a night, watch my own trashy TV shows without interruption. And now I think my relationship is over. I'm feeling frustrated that I attempted to handle this in a productive and proactive way and somehow screwed up. TLDR, boyfriend said if I wanted a night alone I should just take all my stuff from his house and continue to stay alone through the rest of quarantine, no added exposure risk. I'm confused with his all or nothing approach. So, what do I do from here? Edit: wow, this post blew up. Thank you for such thoughtful and thought-provoking commentary. I've felt really supported and seen by a lot of these replies. I'm still reading through and responding to comments, but wanted to provide a quick update some things I keep seeing pop up. I am home in my own apartment, alone. He has not contacted me. I spent yesterday drinking wine, cooking, listening to music softly, FaceTiming girlfriends, caring for my plants, and reading a good book. And checking Reddit, of course. I am not crying or sad. I feel comfortable and at ease in my space again. While BF is not working, he is still being paid his full salary. While I am currently working a lot, I normally have a much healthier work-life balance. Some big deadlines happen to coincide with and be exacerbated by the pandemic. It's only temporary, a few weeks of hellish hustle. I was very clear with my boyfriend before this upswing started, and let him know I was going to be a lot busier and would appreciate his support extra for a couple of weeks until things settled down again. Many of you have brought up quality time. I have attempted to express my desire for quality time to him. Things as blunt as "let's hang out together tonight, what should we do?" Or "we've been sort of coexisting, let's plan to do something together," more like quality time. Perhaps I wasn't resonating with his communication style. Sometimes it would work and we'd have a nice dinner and watch a show together, etc., and other times it would end in frustration and not go anywhere. In regards to the mattress thing, I am hearing all your replies about how it just wasn't important to him, so he didn't want to compromise. It took my having a very dramatic, hysterical, emotional breakdown after nights of no sleep for him to realize how important it was we find a solution. That breakdown was loud and ugly on my part, and not a moment I am proud of. It came after numerous "I'm really not sleeping well, I need more sleep than you do, can we work something out so I'm more comfortable" conversations. I am in therapy and understand I am a highly flawed human with dramatic emotional tendencies as well. I do not always communicate well. I consider myself very self-aware and make concerted efforts to require my default actions to create a better life for myself and my loved ones. And, finally, you are all not wrong that I have a low bar for thoughtfulness. It's not really something I've ever experienced in a relationship,